Before exotic meat reaches the restaurant plate, it begins here, in the controlled wilderness of a commercial game reserve.
These are not domestic cattle. They are semi-wild animals, raised on thousands of acres to ensure premium muscle texture. Once inside the sorting pens, the chaotic energy of the wild is brought under strict industrial control.
Harvest season begins with a precision herding operation, guiding the animals toward the central collection zones. Using natural animal psychology, the layout funnels the herd without causing panic or bruising the meat.
Clear the chute, send the next group.
Every animal is electronically tagged and scanned for health history before leaving the farm.
To maintain meat quality, stress is minimized using hydraulic restraint systems during loading.
Alongside venison, wild boar are harvested in separate, reinforced sectors due to their aggressive nature.
Security seals are applied immediately to guarantee chain of custody for these high-value exports. Temperature and travel time are strictly monitored. Any delay could stress the animals and spoil the meat.
Biosecurity is paramount. Every vehicle is sanitized before entering the processing perimeter. Leaving the wild behind, the supply chain now enters the sterile, regulated world of mass production.
Security seals are applied immediately to guarantee chain of custody for these high-value exports.
Compartmentalization prevents overcrowding and ensures airflow during the journey.
Specialized double-decker transport units are designed to move exotic game safely to the processing plant. The convoy leaves the rough terrain of the reserve, beginning the logistical journey to the industrial zone.
Precise weight data is logged here, establishing the raw yield potential before processing begins. The unloading bay is fully sealed to prevent light and noise from agitating the sheep.
Within seconds, the system transitions from ground transport to an overhead rail logistics network.
Percussive stunning renders the animal insensible in milliseconds, adhering to strict international welfare standards.
Once supported by the V-restrainer, the animal enters the stunning box for instantaneous, humane dispatch.
The curved race design utilizes natural behavior to keep the animals calm and moving forward without force.
Here, in the climate-controlled lairage, the animals rest and hydrate, preparing for the transition to the processing line. The downward hide puller removes the skin mechanical to prevent bacterial contamination from the fur. Exsanguination must be immediate and complete to ensure the highest quality of meat preservation.
Skilled operators perform the legging process, carefully detaching the hide without damaging the valuable muscle underneath.
Synchronized conveyors ensure that every set of organs remains paired with its carcass for veterinary inspection.
Government veterinarians inspect every gland and organ. Any anomaly results in the immediate rejection of the entire carcass. Instead of chemicals, high-temperature steam vacuums are used to sterilize the surface and remove microscopic debris.
The splitting saw divides the animal into two sides, exposing the spinal column for final safety checks. Laser grading systems and manual inspections determine the quality tier of the meat before it ever chills.
To prevent bacterial growth, the meat is rushed into a blast chiller, dropping its temperature rapidly within hours.
The final wash removes any remaining bone dust before the meat enters the critical cooling phase.
The carcasses hang for up to 7 days, allowing natural enzymes to break down connective tissue.
This initial cooling phase, known as rigor mortis, is crucial for setting the meat's tenderness and color.
Once aged, the sides are quartered to make them manageable for the deboning facility.
The primary slaughter is complete. Now the raw quarters are ready for precision butchery at the main processing plant. The cold chain must remain unbroken. and the transfer from truck to factory happens in a refrigerated airlock.
Clear!
Every quarter is reweighed and cross-referenced with farm data before entering the production floor. This is the secondary processing hub, a fortress of stainless steel designed to surgical standards. In modern game processing, data is just as valuable as the meat itself.
Human hands are the biggest contamination risk, so the scrubbing protocol is akin to a surgeon's pre-op routine.
Because the knives are razor sharp, butchers wear chainmail armor that can stop a slip from becoming a fatal injury.
Automated floor scrubbers ensure no outside pathogens are tracked into the clean zone on footwear. Only after passing the biosecurity airlock can anyone enter the boning hall. Before touching the product, the workforce must undergo a rigorous preparation ritual. The transition from rail to belt marks the beginning of the manual precision work.
Okay, let's go.
Customer specifications change daily, and the team must adjust their cutting geometry for specific restaurant orders.
As the lines roar to life, the facility transforms into a high-speed disassembly machine.
A dull knife is a dangerous knife. A dedicated team ensures every blade is honed to a microscopic edge daily.
The room is kept at a constant 2 degrees Celsius, inhibiting bacterial growth while keeping the meat firm for cutting.
Every cut from this point forward is a calculation of value, speed, and yield.
Following the natural anatomy, the butcher separates the shoulder without cutting into the muscle, preserving yield. This is the boning hall, the heart of the operation, where anatomy is disassembled into culinary cuts.
The chilled quarters arrive from storage, firm and ready for the deboning process.
Tools are constantly sterilized in 82-degree water baths located at every single workstation.
For hard bone structures, high-velocity bandsaws provide clean, geometric cuts that knives cannot achieve.
Extracting the saddle requires teamwork and leverage to protect the most expensive cut on the animal.
Pneumatic circular trimmers recover valuable high-grade trimmings that manual knives would leave behind.
Tunnel boning removes the femur while keeping the leg muscles intact, perfect for premium roasts.
Bones are immediately separated and diverted to a rendering plant to become fertilizer or gelatin.
Wild boar presents a tougher challenge. The density of the muscle requires more frequent blade honing.
This rhythmic honing is the heartbeat of the factory, maintaining the razor edge required for safety and speed.
The tough silver skin membrane is mechanically stripped to ensure the final steak is tender.
Fat cover is trimmed to precise millimeter specifications to meet the preferences of high-end chefs.
The rotary sorting table acts as the traffic controller, directing each muscle group to its specific finishing line.
Nothing is wasted. Fat and trim are collected automatically for sausage production or tallow.
pH levels are monitored constantly. Stressed animals produce high pH meat, which is immediately downgraded.
X-ray scanners are critical in game meat, detecting any microscopic lead fragments remaining from the harvest.
Automated kickers instantly isolate any contaminated product, removing human error from safety checks.
For high-value steaks, intelligent portioning machines replace the butcher's eye with laser precision. The system calculates the exact density and volume to ensure every steak weighs precisely 180 grams.
By adjusting thickness in milliseconds, the machine guarantees uniform cooking times for the end consumer.
Sorted primals are temporarily buffered in large bins before entering the specific value-add lines. The rough breaking is done, and now the meat enters the fine processing hall,
for precision cutting.
Machines handle the math, but human hands provide the final aesthetic finish required for premium plating. Optical sorters analyze color in mid-air, blasting away excessive fat to ensure a lean product.
The grid set cuts in 3 dimensions simultaneously, producing thousands of uniform cubes in seconds.
Automated check weighers reject any portion that deviates by more than 2 grams from the target.
Tougher cuts like the shoulder are diverted to the dicing line for stews and curries. High-speed forming plates can press out over 300 uniform burger patties every minute.
The meat is forced through a 3mm plate, breaking down fibers for burgers and sausages.
An inline X-ray analyzer measures chemical lean content in real time, adjusting the recipe automatically.
To ensure flavor and moisture, additional fat and spices are folded in during a vacuum-sealed mixing cycle. Trimmings and offcuts are collected for the grinding line, ensuring total carcass utilization. While fresh cuts go to packaging, the cured items prepare to enter the thermal processing phase.
For stir-fry cuts, the meat is tempered to semi-frozen, allowing for wafer-thin, curling slices.
Before packaging, every gram of product must pass a final ferrous and non-ferrous metal detection gate.
Random surface swabbing ensures that the sanitization protocols are holding up during the shift.
Processed batches are briefly buffered in cold storage to equilibrate temperature before the transformation stage.
To ensure flavor penetrates the dense muscle, multi-needle injectors pump a curing brine deep into the tissue.
Vacuum tumblers massage the meat for hours, extracting proteins that act as a natural glue for texture.
Authentic smoky flavor comes from friction generators that smolder beechwood logs without creating open fire.
Controlled smoke circulation ensures every millimeter of surface area receives an equal coating of mahogany color.
Fermented products like salami require weeks in climate chambers, where beneficial mold develops the characteristic flavor.
Precise thermal cycles cook the product to a core temperature of 72 degrees Celsius, pasteurizing it completely.
Encased in netting to hold its shape, the product is racked and readied for the thermal process.
For jerky production, the muscle is sliced against the grain to ensure the dried snack remains chewable.
An immediate cold shower shocks the meat, shrinking the netting and setting the final texture.
A continuous cascading marinade system ensures uniform seasoning without breaking the delicate slices.
Before slicing, the inedible fibrous casings are mechanically stripped from the cured logs. Robotic placement maximizes the surface area on the drying racks, increasing the oven's capacity.
The green break test confirms the moisture content is low enough to prevent spoilage, but high enough to eat. Optical sensors guide the blade, ensuring every slice maintains a consistent thickness of exactly 1 millimeter.
Low-temperature dehydration removes moisture slowly, preserving the protein structure and shelf stability.
Automated conveyors group the slices into precise portions, ready for the packaging thermoformer.
A precise heat seal creates a hermetic barrier, locking in the protective atmosphere. Oxygen is evacuated and replaced with a protective gas mixture, extending fresh shelf life from days to weeks.
We now enter the high-care environment, where exposure to air is the enemy and speed is the solution. Vibration tracks ensure the product sits perfectly flat, preventing seal failures during the closure process. Vision-guided Delta robots can orient and place products faster and more hygienically than human hands ever could.
Rotating blades separate the packs, while the excess plastic skeleton is vacuumed away for recycling. Rather than buying pre-made trays, the factory thermoforms its own packaging from raw plastic rolls in real time. Transformed and stabilized, the meat is now ready for the most technologically advanced stage, automated packaging.
To lock in freshness immediately, other product lines enter the spiral freezer, dropping to -40 degrees in minutes.
For premium cuts, vacuum skin packaging eliminates all air, allowing the product to age further within the pack.
Automated leak detectors apply pressure to every single unit. Any loss of tension triggers an immediate rejection. Air blast applicators apply branding labels with millimeter accuracy without ever touching the package surface. Simultaneously, a bottom label is applied, containing the critical traceability code and nutritional data.
Machine vision systems verify that the correct label matches the correct meat, preventing costly allergen errors.
Continuous inkjet printers mark the use-by date, the final timestamp of the production guarantee.
A final metal detection scan ensures that no machinery fragments have entered the finished package.
Cardboard sleeves are automatically folded and glued, adding a premium aesthetic and UV protection. Multiple production streams converge here, funneling the entire plant's output toward the final safety gate.
Case packing robots count and load the cartons, relieving African-American female human workers from the most repetitive heavy lifting. While automation handles the bulk, the premium Chef's Reserve line relies on the dexterity of master butchers. Hand tying ensures even cooking and a classic presentation that machines still cannot replicate perfectly. For the sous vide range, seasoning and fats are added directly to the bag, creating a self-basting environment.
To prevent the sharp bones from puncturing the vacuum seal, protective bone guard patches are manually applied.
Accumulation tables act as a buffer, allowing the packing robots to keep running even if downstream workers pause. Rotary chamber machines reach a 99.9% vacuum, extracting all oxygen to halt oxidation completely.
A momentary dip in the shrink tank tightens the excess plastic, giving the product a second skin. Interleaving paper is inserted between high-fat slices to prevent them from fusing back together in the pack.
The linker twists the casing at precise intervals, producing up to 500 uniform sausages per minute.
Automated tumbling ensures an even coating of spices without the inconsistency of hand rubbing.
Automation eliminates the heavy lifting of smoke sticks, reducing repetitive strain injuries for the staff.
The export market demands luxury presentation. Each cut is treated like a high-end consumer electronic. Branding details convey the premium nature of the product to international buyers in Europe and Asia.
Plate freezers compress the cartons while freezing them, creating perfectly flat, stackable blocks.
Not all product is retail ready. Bulk export blocks are prepared for further processing overseas.
At the end of the line, heavy lift robots build stable pallets with a precision no human crew can match.
Automated stretch wrapping secures the load for its transoceanic journey. Every pallet receives a unique SSCC license plate, linking it to the factory's central inventory database.
Separate from the factory floor, the on-site ISO-accredited laboratory operates as an independent safety firewall. Before shipping, the entire batch is placed in a digital quarantine hold until the lab results are cleared. The sample is homogenized in a stomacher, releasing bacteria from the surface into a solution for analysis. Every production batch sends a representative sample here, where it becomes a number in a high-stakes test.
Microdosing robots or skilled technicians plate the solution to test for pathogens like Salmonella and E. coli.
Traditional culture methods are still the gold standard for verifying that the factory's hygiene protocols are working.
Polymerase chain reaction testing confirms the DNA species, guaranteeing that the venison is 100% authentic.
Because these are wild harvested animals, spectrometry scans for any environmental contaminants or lead residues.
Safety is only half the battle. The sensory quality is verified daily in the on-site test kitchen. The samples incubate for 24 hours. A clear plate means the batch is safe to release.
To scientifically measure tenderness, the shear force machine calculates exactly how much pressure is needed to bite through the meat.
Chefs cook random samples to validate the trim standard, melt point of the fat, and overall aroma.
Blind taste panels ensure that the texture and flavor profile remain consistent with the brand's premium reputation.
This paperwork is the currency of international trade, proving the product meets the strict import laws of the destination country.
Only when the quality manager digitally signs off does the inventory software unlock the stock for shipment.
For cured products, water activity is the critical safety parameter, determining shelf stability without refrigeration.
All physical and chemical results are aggregated in the central server, creating a digital passport for every carton.
Science has done its job. Now the final leg of the logistical marathon begins.
Release.
Instantly, the warehouse management system updates, signaling the logistics team that the quarantine is over. We enter the deep freeze warehouse, a cathedral of ice maintained at a constant -25°C.
This high bay facility can hold 4,000 tons of product, acting as the global buffer for the supply chain.
Wire-guided turret trucks operate with millimeter precision, maximizing storage density in the expensive cold air.
Location Alpha 2, pick 5.
Check 5.
Orders are assembled using voice-directed technology, leaving workers hands-free to handle the frozen cartons safely.
Before loading, the export shipments are staged in temperature-controlled bays to prevent any thawing.
Every shipping container is rigorously inspected. A single structural flaw could compromise the cold chain at sea.
Experienced loaders play a game of industrial Tetris, calculating weight distribution to prevent the truck from tipping. Inflatable dunnage bags lock the cargo in place, absorbing the shocks of ocean waves and potholes. The integral reefer unit takes over, powered by its own generator to keep the game meat frozen during transit. The tractor unit couples to the load, integrating the container into the road transport network. Once the custom seal is applied, the container cannot be opened until it reaches its destination, whether that's Paris or Tokyo. From the wild hills of the harvest to the industrial highway, the logistical chain is now complete.
With paperwork verified and biosecurity checks complete, the shipment is cleared to leave the facility.
What started as a wild animal has been transformed into a safe, premium, and traceable protein source.
And this is how modern factories produce premium wild game meat from start to finish.
This complex dance of biology, engineering, and logistics runs 24 hours a day to feed the global market.
A process that bridges the gap between the chaotic wilderness and the orderly plate.